Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 3 wins in a row. We've been cruising. We've been loving life. We've been randoming Blue Baby. Sorry, in extreme cake voice. She is playing roguelites and randoming Blue Baby. I want a girl with a... Hold on. Give it a sec. I want a girl with a shock mount and a long stream key. I don't know. Like, I lost confidence halfway through the bit, okay? She's re-rolling brimstone and shirking mom's knife. So I don't have, like, a really good singing voice, so I thought maybe, to be honest with you, that singing Cake would kind of, like, make it a little better, but... I mean, I'm not trying to say that, you know, the lead singer of Cake is not a good singer, but, I mean, really, who has the audacity to sing Cake so close to Pi Day? So close to Pi Day. Can I tell you something? I don't understand Pi Day. I know there's no sacred cows today. The baby's not in the office. She's upstairs right now. The old baby can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's fed. Well, she's feeding. But I don't mind. Like, I want to start by saying, like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't keep me up at night. But all these, like, fake nerd holidays. Pi Day, May the 4th, you know, etc., etc. I don't understand the celebration of Pi Day. Like, isn't it one of those things where, you know, you buy, like, a shirt with Spock on it and it says live long and prosper, and then you're like, you know, Happy Pi Day, everybody, on Facebook, talk like a pirate day. I've got my Facebook set to pirate language. Like, it's one of those, right? Bazinga? You know, my other car is a TARDIS type thing. You got a Volkswagen Golf with a Decepticon sticker on the back of it. Like, you know what I mean, right? Like, it's like a signal to the rest of the world that you're a nerd, but kind of like in a, I don't want to say in a weird way, but you know, like in like a general kind of like commercial way. I'm not trying to say, oh, back in my day, nerds, you know, were real nerds and they all, you know, were getting their pants pulled up and getting atomic wedgies and swirlies and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand the celebration of Pi Day. I did see a lot of people eating pizza on Pi Day. And let me tell you, if we want to make Pi Day something that's basically just a pizza-themed holiday with a little bit of, you know, math thrown in, I got no problems there. Who doesn't like pizza? And I'll be honest with you, I think most of the great holidays are holidays where food is associated with them. You know, Thanksgiving is the obvious one. But even stuff like, you know, the 4th of July or Canada Day, or, you know, I don't know what you do for Bastille Day, but, you know, I'm assuming you barbecue, right? Like, it's a day in, isn't Bastille Day in the summertime? If your Independence Day is in the summertime, you must be barbecuing, right? Hold on, Bastille Day. It's a 2016 film, my mistake. It's July 14th, okay. You know, something about July. All the countries get uppity in July. They're like, hey, you know, we're independent now, and it's not just a phase, Mom. Anyway, it doesn't even make... For Canada and America, kind of makes sense. For France, I don't think it makes sense. My French history is not that... is not really up to snuff, quite frankly, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't like, you know, hey, England, we're free. Yeah, I think it was more of like the French Revolution type deal, but anyway. Regardless... Yeah, NA history. Yeah, NA history. I bet you couldn't tell me what team Eric Lindros refused to be drafted by in the NHL draft, and then who he was traded for in order to go to the Philadelphia Flyers afterwards because he refused to play in the original market. Yeah, it's the freaking Quebec Nordiques. Oh, EU education. See? Okay, maybe I don't know anything about the French Revolution. You don't know jack about Eric Lindros. Don't even get me started on Alexander Dag. Sorry, it took me a second to think of his name. Don't even get me frickin' started. You don't know jack about frickin' Sidney Crosby, man. You probably don't even know what draft position Carey Price went. It was 5th to the Montreal Canadiens. See, like, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't really remember. It is the same day. This is the first time in so long that I've been able to make, you know, like, more than... This is our 4th Isaac episode today. It's crazy. 2 is a miracle. If I can make 2 Isaac episodes in the same day, it's kind of a miracle. But I took the day off from streaming because Kate had an opportunity to get Twitch front page. I think I mentioned it like 3 videos ago, but the only time that she could get in was a time when I was streaming as well, and I was like, well, yeah, of course, do it, you know. And she got like literally 26,000 viewers, so I think that ended up, you know, being a pretty decent day for me to just take off. And, you know, by take off, I mean, I'm still recording a little bit for YouTube, but, oh, hello. It doesn't happen that often. But it's nice, honestly. It's nice. I don't have anything to say beyond that, but it's been a good day. You know why? Because it's not Pi Day. I just, like, I don't get it. Like, I understand. You can't criticize anything anymore without being called, like, a gatekeeper. Like, I didn't realize that, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't really like this thing, then all of a sudden you're, like, gatekeeping mathematics or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to be like. You know, if you have a deep association with Pi Day, if you're like, circles saved me, I was gonna drown, and then a circle jumped. Somebody threw an inflatable circle with a little hole in the middle into the water. And I put my head through it, and it had a buoyant property that allowed me to not drown. And ever since then, I celebrate Pi Day because circles saved my life. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you that you can't celebrate Pi Day, or maybe like Kylo Ren's lightsaber made you feel something for the first time in a decade. I'm not gonna say May the 4th is not like a real holiday. Like, you know, any day is really just meaning that you ascribe on a personal level, you have some kind of relationship with it, right? Like, nobody's birthday, unless you're Jesus Christ or George Washington, I think, maybe, is an actual holiday. Like, what the heck is President's Day? Is anybody talking about this nonsense? Isn't that one of those things where, like, every day is the President's Day? The person that is the president has access on their desk to a button that could destroy planet Earth. As far as I'm concerned, every day is President's Day. Can you imagine wielding that kind of power? I'll tell you, I'd take a lot less sass from the YouTube comments. You would be nice for sure. Because you'd be like, imagine if I said something, you know, over the line. This guy could freaking drop a nuclear bomb on my house. Nobody wants that. Then yeah, you'll all be sorry. You'll all be sorry. Is President's Day George Washington's birthday? That's so messed up, dude. Look, okay, nobody's gonna like this, alright? Here's a thought that I have. Holidays should only be named what they're named for 50 years. Let's call it like a generation and a half, maybe 2 generations. Following that point, the holiday should... I'm not saying it has to be renamed. Like, I think Christmas would pass this vote. But it has to pass a referendum. 50+.1% people, they get asked, should we rename this day? Or should we, like, replace it with another day on the calendar? Because, like, there's some days where, look, Canada Day, July 4th, they'd be sticking around. Christmas, Easter, they'd be sticking around. Although I will say, it would not surprise me if at some point we did away with this Easter nonsense of, oh, it's on the 3rd weekend in March, except for all those times it's in April, and, you know, I think that at some point we'll just be like, you know what, it's freaking March 23rd. I don't know why they gotta throw all these rules in here, you know? This run is kind of doo-doo right now, by the way. I'm a little frightened, but we're gonna do our best. And we're gonna go back this way, because I think it's safer this way. But I think, like, you know, why do we feel so beholden? And because, like, look, I don't really have strong opinions on, you know, people tearing down statues or stuff like that, or, like, historical figures. You know, they're beloved for, like, a few generations, and then with modern standards, they become kind of, like, you know, a little bit more complicated. You know, it's not really my domain, but the opinion that I've kind of, like, always had is, like, you know, maybe we've been, you know, glorifying the image of these, you know, same people for 250, 300 years. Maybe it's time that we put up some statues of, like, you know, our modern heroes. And they don't have to be mutually exclusive, but, you know, at some point, if we're going to continue to have the same amount of working days and the same amount of days off, which is not my call, but you got to, you know, make room for the new and cut some of the old. Like, there's just some days where I'm like, and don't get me wrong, okay? I like Victoria Day. The reason I like it is because Victoria Day is a beautiful long weekend right at the start of summer in Canada. It's like the third Saturday in May, and you get a long weekend. That's a wonderful time to have a day off, but really, how long are we going to keep this whole, like, thanks Queen Victoria thing up? You know, she died like 160 years ago or something. She, you know, some good, some bad. Definitely some bad, but probably some... She did some things that I will acknowledge have benefited me, whether you would consider that to be a good thing or not. You know, and it's a long chain to get there, don't get me wrong, but, you know, nobody's like, oh, you know... It's one of those holidays where people just get trashed, and then whenever you're like, maybe we should change the name to, like, you know... Something Awareness Day, people are like, and if Queen Victoria is looking down on us right now, what would she think? That we're just taking all of her accomplishments and trying to give them to somebody. When you're slamming 19 neutral vodka sodas, you gotta think of the queen, man. You gotta, not the current queen, but the queen like five royals ago. Come on, man. She would have done the same for you. I mean, she has no, you probably, you know, she thought about Canada about 8 times over the course of her entire reign in all likelihood, but come on, man. All right, anyway, like, well, maybe we're getting a little controversial here, but, like, you can't, like, let's be honest, nobody expects that to go on forever, right? You really think in 2400 we're still gonna have, like, Victoria Day? I'm just asking. I'm just posing questions. I think we're due for a refresh. You know, the same way Northernlion.shop gives, you know, new merch every 9 months. I think we gotta not even rename the holidays necessarily, but put it to a public vote. It would probably lose the public vote anyway, because I've lived through a few general referendums in my life. Every single one is like, hey, should we try this new thing or keep everything the same? And keep everything the same has won comfortably every single time, except, I mean, I was like 7 when the Quebec independence referendum happened, but it barely won there. But so you're gonna think I'm insane, but I'm taking it, dude. And I thought maybe that could be like, you know, balls of steel or something, but it's definitely risky, but this run is not good. It's not good, and I would like it to be good, so let's give it a try here. Let me hydrate. And actually, hold on, I have some potentially urgent Discord messages. Let me look at here. It is a photo of my daughter sleeping, and she looks very cute, to which I typed Lamau. Come on, man. It was really like, so I had the baby, you know, for like 6 hours today, and while Kate was streaming, and the stream went very well. I'm happy with the way we did it, for sure. But you realize, and I don't, look, I mean, people are, if you want to take offense to this, I can't stop you. What I've realized is that, and I'm not one of those, like, oh, people these days are, like, so easily offended, but, you know, I've endeavored to make, like, completely non-controversial comments in the past, and people will still be like, you know, they'll rake you over the coals over meaningless stuff. They'll make, like, Reddit posts that are like, I can't believe that NL thought it wasn't important for him to have, like, his stat screen up in The Binding of Isaac and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to be, like, too rude about it. I'm just... you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, I think it's less for me that I say, you know, I'm constantly like a font of bad takes, and much more, I think it's that, you know, there is, sometimes I have bad takes, and then, you know, on top of that, there is a certain type of person that is just like, you know, looking for stuff to be mad at. For the most part, like, I don't talk about controversial things, and I deliberately kind of, like, stay away from them. Not as much as I used to, for sure. Like that Queen Victoria bit would have me shaking for days after repeating it. I'd be like, what if some monarchists watched? What if some monarchists watch this video? What would they think? But you know, I've recognized that at some point it's an inevitability that with enough people watching the videos, they're gonna get offended by like whatever, you know. And I don't do that flippantly. Like I don't go out there trying to hurt feelings, but you know, if you realize that if there's a group of people out there that are like, I can't believe he said like he doesn't like lefty flip in Guitar Hero, then you know you can't really avoid it. But as a dad, I really think, especially with, you know, not a newborn, but with a young baby, I kind of reached my limit today where I was like, I have offered you everything nature allowed me to offer you, and I'm just essentially waiting for mom to be done, so that, because like the baby craves skin-to-skin contact, nursing, closeness with the mother, etc., etc. So I can feed the baby a bottle and, you know, hold her close and be like, you know, this is what I got for you. But you kind of like, especially with a young baby, you kind of lack that cheat code. And I don't mean to make it, you know, usually when people use cheat codes is to make a game like easier, I guess, or to avoid DLC. But it's really, you know, and again, this is going to annoy some people as well. At least in the situation that we're in, you know, I have it much easier than Kate because, you know, Kate has chosen to nurse a lot, you know, and we're not using like any baby formula and stuff like that. But at the same time, occasionally, let's be careful with our verbiage here. Occasionally, I'm a little envious of the fact that if the baby's really upset, she can just kind of, you know, start the nursing process. Whereas, as the dad, I'm like, you know, I'm just like, this is not a joke. I like floss in front of the baby, and I'm like, look, daddy's flossing. Daddy's flossing. Isn't that funny? And she's like, you know, so I really did hit that point today. I'm not surprised that she's sleeping. Let's put it that way. She was a very good baby today. You know, she was very polite. She didn't fuss unnecessarily, but I'm sure that she was like, this is like the longest I've gone without nursing, except for overnight in like, you know, ever. So, you know, it's probably a stressful day for the baby, honestly. And then she's like, this moron just keeps like doing this weird dance in front of me, thinking it's gonna like, you know, help me somehow. We also, like, I don't know, it's just a sign of like, you know, baby emotions. I was laughing so hard, but trying not to let the baby know that I was laughing like at her. Well, at the situation, not like mocking her. But she was like crying, and I was like, okay, daddy's gonna like open all these Amazon boxes of like cat food and stuff. And then I looked at her, and she was like weeping, right? But then when I looked at her, she laughed. So as I was opening the boxes, I just kept like, every once in a while I'd go like, whoo, and I'd look at her in the face, and she'd switch from laughing to crying. It was just so bizarre. Like, it was like Midsummer, you know? She was like weeping and then also laughing, and then like she would laugh and have like sad tears, not happy tears, rolling down the sides of her face. Like, just a bizarre, you know, the babies kind of lack that emotional, you know, regulation that most adults aspire to, at least, whether or not they have it. You know, whether or not they cried during the emotional center of Black Panther, or, you know. Are you normal, or do you cry at the end of Black Panther, like some streamers I know that, you know, are recording Isaac videos right now? I don't know, you know, it's not ashamed of it. I was talking about it on stream, though, like, especially since having the baby. Like, I would say, like, age 7 to age, like, 16, I don't think I cried. Well, oh, come on, man, that would have been so good. I don't think I cried, well, at all, really. But certainly while not watching, like, a piece of media. Just gonna hydrate real quick. Like, I remember I cried watching the original Lion King. I saw it in theaters when I was like 7. I think it was the last time I cried in a movie theater, genuinely, until I think, and I was fighting it hard, right? But I saw Big Fish in theaters in 2004, 2003 with my mom. And there's like, the end of that movie is, and I really do not like most Tim Burton movies. You know, stuff like Ed Wood being accepted from that. But it hits you with like enough emotional beats like over and over with like a swelling musical score and nostalgia and remember this and you know and it really got me even as a teenager, but I was kind of like holding it in, you know, because I was like, I don't freaking cry at movies, I don't want to cry at movies. Now and it's been getting like, I don't want to say worse because I actually think it's kind of nice and even normal, I might add, but you know, as I've gotten older, certainly gotten a lot more emotional in movies for sure. And then like when Kate was pregnant, it was like it took me a freaking next level. And now that we have the baby, it's not even funny. Like you know, there's this new movie Minari starring Steven Yeun that just came out on you know digital VOD, and you know it's getting a ton of award buzz, and everybody seems to think it's very good. I haven't seen it. I watched the trailer, and the trailer essentially covers nothing. You know, and I don't mean like in a bad way. I mean like it just introduces themes without actually covering. By the way, this run is horrible. It introduces themes, but doesn't actually like go through too much concrete stuff. You know, it introduces the idea it's a South Korean family that moves to, you know, rural America to try to start a farm, and you know. Anyway, I was like bawling my eyes out just watching the trailer in my office, and it was like, you know, 2 p.m. on a Saturday. It was just the trailer. I was like, I can't even watch this movie. I'm gonna die. Like, I don't think I'll be able to hold it together through like the opening. It's wild, man. But it's again, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think, you know, like why did I think it's less of like why am I, you know, more emotional with media now? And it's much more like, you know, why, the question that should be asked, I should say, is like, why wasn't I as emotional about it when I was a teenager? Well, it's because I was, you know, desensitizing myself by having, you know, 16 hours of like edgelord online content every day, I think is the answer to the question. And also, like, I had, not to be rude, but I had like nothing going on in my life. So it was like, you know, I nothing in my life had meaning except like I'm in school and I like play video games, you know. As I've gotten older and found that meaning and, you know, kind of built things that I care about, you have a lot more sentimentality. Makes you much easier to manipulate, I might add. I get emotionally manipulated. I'm not quite at the level where I get emotionally like manipulated by a commercial yet, but I'm sure it will happen at some point where, like, you know, like a daughter will give her dad like a gift certificate to LL Bean or something like that, and I'll just be like a puddle in my Lazy Boy, which I do not yet own. But I think it's very, you know, normal. I don't think it's a sign of strength to not you know, be emotional during movies. I wouldn't take the flip side. Like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a sign of strength to be, you know, non-emotional or to be very emotional during movies and stuff like that as well. But you know, it's just, I'm just giving you one man's experience. Let's put it that way. I do still, though, I have like a little stiff upper lip in honor of Queen Victoria. Like, if I'm watching a roughly, you know, pre-pandemic at the theater, and there's usually like the emotional climax happens, and then there's like a denouement of like 5 to 10 minutes. In the denouement, I am like, you know, getting my eyes set up and, you know, like trying to make sure, like, I hope my eyes aren't red, I hope my eyes aren't red, and then the lights come on and I'm like, so what'd you think? You know, I'm not like just a ball of emotions, which, you know, maybe we'll get there at some point. I think it would be for the best. I think it would be more honest, honestly. Okay. This run, I know I've said this. This run is not good. It is a pretty bad run, all things considered. It does have some good stuff, like the wafer is amazing. It has an orbital. Rotten Baby is an amazing, possibly it's in the running for best familiar. I might put it over. I think I like Succubus more than Incubus. They're both amazing. Don't get me wrong. And then I think I might put Rotten Baby over Succubus on top of all that. Give me this so we can open those stone chests if we choose to. And I think what we really want with Steam Sale is honestly as many Spirit Hearts as possible. We should have bought this first, obviously. It's not what we're looking for, but that would have been wise. And we've used our bomb because I'm stupid, and we'll just leave. But it's funny, like, you know, things change, right? Like, now, I still have a pretty, you know, proportionally low amount of HP. But in my head, I'm like, I'm living large right now. But this run is truly mediocre. No doubt about that. I think, by the way, we're doing a great job of spinning some commentary out of an anecdoteless day here. I mean, I got McDonald's drive-thru. What do you want me to say? That's all I got, man. It was good. What's my favorite shape of chicken nugget? So I don't even remember. I know there's boots and there's bells. And there's 4, right? There's like boots, bells, wheels, and something else. Like, the boot is great, I think. I can't believe that I'm 32 years old, got a college degree, and like a kid, and this is what I'm talking about, by the way. Like, this is not what I pictured my adulthood would be like. Hey, did you look at the acquisition documents that we got sent? That's what I pictured it would be like. Either that or like, hey, honey, sorry, I'm late. The flying car was having problems. But anyway, Chicken McNuggets, right? The boot is the best Chicken McNugget because here's what you can do, you know? You can hold it by the boot. Man, that is not... I mean, I should have known that's what we were going to get, obviously, but you can hold it by the toe, bite it once, and then get a second bite out of the foot itself, which I suppose you could do with other nuggets, but it just feels more kind of natural and logical to do it with the boot, in my opinion. But I you know, I don't notice enough of a difference for it to matter. You think there's any weirdos out there that go into McDonald's and they're like, give me 10 McNuggets, all boots? What do you think? Do you think it's possible? Hey, Tomo. I know that, like, and again, like, this is from my era of the internet, so I don't want to act like this is, you know, kids these days are like, oh, boomers, you know. But there used to be, like, you know, life pro tip. If you want fresh fries every time you go into McDonald's, just order fries, but don't get them salted. And then they have to cook a new batch for you. And you're like, you know, like, they've had a long day, I'm sure, you know, working at McDonald's. It's probably not the most, you know, enjoyable thing to begin with. And, you know, you're not being compensated to an absurd degree. You're really, like, are you going to be that much of a caricature of, like, and I say this with reverence, are you going to be that much of a caricature of an entitled North American? And you're going to be like, hey, I know the main thing that you guys do is sell the exact same food to everybody, but can you make mine special? Like, I want the same thing everybody else has, but I want a new one, you know? Like, there's got to be somebody out there that's like, can you order all boots from McDonald's? I bet if you look it up, there will be a Google result. Okay, Tomo, I will free you. I will free you from this prison of your own choosing. There you go. And then let me check this other Discord message back here as well. Just give me a moment. Okay. My wife said, I've never seen our daughter this tired. She had too much fun with daddy. You know, I think that she had some fun, but she also used a lot of energy suppressing her, like, desire to cry, which I'm very thankful for. I think when I'm out with the baby is like, I'm not gonna cry right now because I don't want to cause a scene, but you frickin' owe me when we get home. And I'm like, I know, sweetie. Yes, dear. Honey, it's 1 p.m., 2:15 p.m., 3:45 p.m., 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., 7:15 p.m., 8 p.m., 8:04 p.m. It's time for me to cry again. Yes, dear. Anyway, what was I talking? I was talking about McDonald's, man. We really, like, and as long as we're talking about stereotypical North Americans, I love the drive-thru. I love it for a variety of reasons. One, I do not love, you know, like, the idea of eating a meal in my car. Like, even though it's not logically, like, necessarily sad, it saddens me. If you know what I mean, to, like, eat a meal in your car, it just doesn't feel... It just feels wrong to me on some level, but I understand it happens a lot. But like, the drive-thru is incredible. Just from the context of, like, being able to order whatever you want and then usually receiving that food, I would say within a minute and a half of ordering it without having to actually have left your car in the first place. That's unbelievable to me. You can poo-poo fast food all you want, and to some extent you should. A lot of people eat too much of it. Some people are like, you should never eat any of it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and you should never, you know, think negative thoughts, and you should never, you know, do whatever. You should never, hey. I didn't have, like, a definitive answer there. But, yeah, like, I get it, you're perfect, but at the same time... Sorry, I was checking on another important message. It was a potion seller meme. I'm just gonna be honest. You know, sometimes you crave it. You don't have to give in to the craving. But, you know, you could fight like 4 cravings, and then on the 5th craving, maybe treat yourself to some chicken McNuggets. Or don't. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like... You know, I like to... Sometimes when people are like, you know, friends of mine, if they're like really serious about their health, and they're like, oh, I'm craving chicken McNuggets, I'm like, nah, don't do it. You'll actually regret it tomorrow. But if you're just like, you know, if you're going through a phase of your life where you're just kind of eating whatever you want, then I'm like, do it. Do it. Let's just do it and be legends. I'm not trying to, you know, blow up anybody's diet spot. You know, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but, you know, sometimes, you know, friends of yours will be like, they'll encourage you to indulge too much because they're friends, and also they're like, you're never going to stick with that diet anyway, so you got to build up that spite in order to, you know, persevere and prove them wrong. You'll all see. But you can poo-poo fast food all you want. The actual, like, from a manufacturing standpoint, the drive-thru is an unbelievable phenomenon. You can get, like, you know, 10 deep-fried chicken McNuggets, 2 dipping sauces, a drink, French fries, a bag. The bag has Monopoly stickers plastered all over it. You can get that in less time than it takes me to get, like, a glass of water from the fridge, which is basically less than 20 feet away from me. That's insane. But we're kind of, in Vancouver, the drive-thrus are, like, very few and far between. You get outside of the city proper, maybe. And they're not always nice drive-thrus either. Sometimes, like... So there's and now that I think about it, I have been to this once. There is a Wendy's drive-thru, and it's on Cambie and... I don't know, it's gotta be like... I don't know, it's near, like, Broadway and Cambie, which is a landmark in Vancouver. This is just like a Vancouver-focused bit. The Wendy's drive-in there, I swear to God, it looks like somebody made it in, drive-thru, sorry. It looks like somebody made it in City Skylines. Like, you can only, it's the minimum amount of space for you to fit in a drive-thru. You have to make like 180 degree turns over the course of it, and then it ends with like a ramp that pitches downwards at like a 60-degree angle and just spits you onto the road. You know, that's what you're dealing with in an area, you know, where real estate is this expensive, is that, you know, it really has a dampening effect on the quality of your fast food drive-thrus, which is not a major concern necessarily, but Dude, I'm just... Can I just get... you know what? I'm not gonna complain, okay? We have Unicorn Stump, and we have, an Orbital. That's all I could ask for. The wafer on top of that is a dream come true. Please, thank you. It's literally all you need, and we're very lucky that it's all you need because it's really all I got as well. But I could use some more drive-throughs. I mean, honestly, like I think the reason I end up going to the McDonald's drive-thru, like 80% of my fast food consumption is going to the McDonald's drive-thru once every 3 weeks. I think it's just because I know where it is and it's like, you know, kind of large. So I'm like, you know, they haven't given me a reason to not go yet. But then like there's so few other options. I think if you get out, you know, more towards Burnaby, there's like a Church's Chicken drive-thru. But I'll tell you, I had Church's Chicken one time. It was not the best experience. It was at Vancouver Airport, which is probably not fair to judge it based on the quality of the airport food, but it was I was underwhelmed and over-greased. Let's put it that way. I will say though, and I bring this up not to try to shake up the status quo, but just to remind people, like, you know, if you're an outsider, there's dozens of us, okay? Can I tell you something? And this is genuine. Apart from that Church's fried chicken, I don't think I've ever in my life complained about a food being too greasy. Whenever, like, sometimes, you know, if we go out to eat with other people, they'll be like, look at this, like, there's, the pepperoni has, like, little grease pools in it. I didn't know that was considered, you know, conventionally at least, a bad thing. I thought that was kind of like 75% of the value of pepperoni was that it catches the grease. And then the other 25% is like salt and maybe like, you know, garlic powder or something. I don't know, whatever. Anytime you get a pepperoni that's got like I'm gonna give you like here's my 2 cents, okay? Cracked black pepper is good. You know, when you, like, get it in, you know, sir, can I give you some fresh pepper or something like that? You're always like, you know, this is an enhancement. But when you get, like, a piece of salami or something like that, that has the grain of pepper perfectly cut in half, oh, that's how you know you got a good slice. That's the prime slice of salami right there. Okay, you know, I don't want any statistical benefits. No handouts, please. I'll just pull myself up by my bootstraps. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. You know what I want to say, though? New York-style pizza, Chicago-style pizza, Neapolitan flat-crust-style pizza. All pizzas are stars, as far as I'm concerned. You know what pizza deserves more credit? You know, you might know where I'm going with this one. New Haven, Connecticut. Just joking. Sorry, I just wanted to get the Connecticut viewers riled up. Detroit-style pizza. I think that's, and it's already starting to make some inroads, don't get me wrong. You know, it's spreading, because I watch the food trends, it's spreading a little bit across America. It's in the trendy cities, and Detroit. It's in the trendy cities right now. Which means soon it'll be in Toronto, which means soon it'll be in Vancouver, which means soon it might be coming to a location near you. What is Detroit-style pizza? It is pizza that's cooked in a square or rectangular pan. And so you get like instead of a perfectly round pizza, you actually have a pizza that has like some edge pieces, some corner pieces, etc., etc. And then it's not really a deep dish, but it's like a pan pizza, so it's a little bit thicker on the crust side than a thin crust pizza, for example. But it gets like insanely crispy on the edges. It's almost like a Pizza Hut pan pizza, but square. And then you could do with that what you will. I think Detroit pizza should come back, man. And by come back, I mean like take over. I like New York style pizza. I don't know if I've ever had an authentic one, but and this is gonna sound comical, but like I grew up in a province that borders New York State, and I think that a lot of the pizzerias that were in my hometown were predominantly like New York pizza style, whether or not they actually adhered to the norms or whatever. But they were like large pizzas. You could large slices. You could buy them by the slice. You could eat half of them on a paper plate and then throw the rest out in the trash can and then continue with the rest of the television program on FX, etc., etc. It's just a little reference to the sitcom known as Louie, which, you know, I've never really seen outside of like a couple episodes, and is probably, I mean, I don't reference it like, hey, you know, there's a guy who got a bad deal, you know, I'm just like, you know, it's just referential, you know? Just hit me, like, I don't mind. You might as well at this point. Forgot what I was saying, anyway. I think Detroit pizza, you know, it's underrepresented, let's put it that way. And I like all kinds of pizza. I like the New York style. I haven't ever had a Chicago style deep dish pizza, but I don't really care to get in an argument over, is it pizza or is it a casserole? I don't care, man, just give it to me, right? Like, I just want to give me a little piece of it. I don't know, can you eat a piece of it or do you need a bowl? Either way. I love, like, my favorite of the archetypes might even be like a Neapolitan style, like thin crust pizza. Two ingredients, 3 ingredients maybe. I could really go for a Detroit style pizza right now. I'm not gonna deny it. Probably shouldn't. I had McDonald's for lunch. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Okay, let me think about this. We're very close to the boss. I think, especially with Guillotine, I think we should be able to get away with not having to use Crystal Ball. I mean, we won't even get a Crystal Ball charge, I think, so... I mean, we might get one. I'm happier, I think, having the, the invincibility. I mean, like, this, without invincibility, this run would stand no chance. We're kind of doing okay now, but don't let it twist you up. Like, we took Guillotine, which has a penalty associated with it in terms of being able to, like, understand what you're doing and, like, where your shots are going and how to dodge. And we have Dim Bulb, which allows us to have, like, below average stats instead of truly terrible stats. At this stage of the game, so I definitely don't think we were given too much charity here. We simultaneously have, like, the least impressive and also, like, the most overpowered broken run of all time. It's like the most boring run you could never lose ever. But I am stoked either way. Victory has come to us. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Helps out a great deal, and of course subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And hey, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. I'm live every day but Saturday, playing all sorts of good stuff there, and I'll see you next time. See ya!